We're ready. We've had some, I believe, some good discussions on this specific topic. Again, I actually wanted to get off camera because I want to relax a little bit. We're ready. I wanted to get off the camera and I wanted to relax a little bit and again be able to talk about these issues correctly, and I wanted to be able to give the proper attention to this situation. Again, I believe that we can work through a lot of these issues if we, in some cases, work on them. We do not have to, if you ask me. I don't believe we need to talk about them a lot, but I think we need to make it clear what has happened to us as a community and who's the culprit. What was the plan of the state to pit us against each other and create this type of hatred? Again, as a section or as a part of the greater America, the federal government has found a need in the past to homogenize black people and to go out of its way to find ways to pull us down. Whether that was bringing drugs in the community, locking up fathers, whether that was making education and funding for education, making sure we don't own and have financial difficulties moving forward. Many times the federal government have went out of its way. Now, good evening and greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Clyde Yorkshire, and it is very nice to see and be with you tonight. We're going to have a great show. Today I am broadcasting from the good state of the free state of Texas, and in the good old city of Plano, Texas. If you haven't heard of it and you want to move to the good state of Texas and you're wondering, where should I start? Plano's one of those good places. They have great schools, strong police department. We have a steady governor, Governor Greg Abbott, who I voted for several times. And we have all of the businesses are moving here. It's a free state. You don't need open carry. You don't even need a gun license and permit. It's nice to have. And we have the most beautiful women you can imagine. We got some good old boots and jeans. Ain't nothing like them boots and jeans, child. Girls know how to ride horses and everything. And we're not saying it in a fresh way. I mean, seriously, this is Texas. And we have a lot of the jobs have moved over here. We have a great economy. The weather's really good. It doesn't get all that snow and stuff like that. So if you, again, I don't know where you're listening from. A lot of people may be in Guam. You could be in Germany tonight, Canada, Ethiopia, Qatar. I don't know where you are. Turkey, New Jersey, Maine, Alaska. I don't know where you are. But greetings and blessings to you and to my chat. I will be looking at the chat tonight, so feel free to leave comments, join in on the discussion. Again, we were talking about loving everything about black women and not contributing to the hatred and to the division that the federal government have used our sisters, who a lot of them have been complacent and have joined the fight against the black male. Even in the Bible, I believe the government have used that expression and old narrative to preserve the women, the spoils of war, keep the booty. and get rid of the men. And they have used everything from crime bills, bringing drugs into our community, breaking down the institutions, in some cases the Black Panthers and other organizations that were there to keep out the bad guys and the gang members. They've exploited things such as Planned Parenthood, abortion clinics, and you just go down the list and you can kind of see how the federal government have not necessarily been a friend. The liberal left government have not been a friend of the Black community. To the contrary, they have worked overtime to make sure that they can help bring down the Black community. And they came up with something called the welfare state. Now, many of you are, Jesus, we are learning from this podcast. We had no idea about the welfare state. Authors and our great brothers, such as Thomas Sowell, have written about this, talked about this, traveled around the world, and made this one of the #1 priorities. And even helping whites to understand, you're not the problem. The federal government have came up with an idea called the welfare state, the no man in the house rule. And instead of us pumping drugs into your community, instead of us giving you faulty vaccines or saying you can't go to school, or we're not going to, help you with your tolls, tunnels, and bridges in your community, we'll just fund the women, sort of creating them as a militia to go against the Black male. We'll promise them everything from administrative control in the family courts, administrative control in the schools, in the households. We'll fund you and keep your lights on. You pay lower phone light bills and everything. We'll help give you community college and jobs. And if you look at the greater construct of coup d'etats or rebuilding of nations and sort of tampering with other governments and entities, which is genocide, we'll go in and get rid of your government or your structure, and we'll put our guy in there. As long as you're friendly and work with the United States, we'll back you up in Syria, we'll back you up in Taiwan, we'll back you up in Saudi Arabia and the GCC states, we'll back up Taiwan, we'll back up South Korea, we'll back up Ukraine. Well, something similar has happened in the Black community domestically. The federal liberal left government have created a welfare state. This is what it's called, the welfare state, along with the no man in the house rule. And what they have done is use our Black women to destroy their own homes and fund them to do this. And so it has caused such a fallout in the Black community. It has created such a bad taste in both Black men and Black women. Our children are the ones that are suffering. It has created generational curses, and it is so abnormal. But again, they have covered these things up by talking about everything else but this. And again, as you get older, you say, wait a minute now. All of these fathers can't be missing out of the Black community. That's an abduction. You mean to tell me in Alaska, California, New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire, okay, Oklahoma, and Illinois, Indiana, and Montana, Iowa, Massachusetts, all of these Black men are missing? This makes no sense. Town to town, county to county, state by state, this have been the most effective mechanism, even worked better than the Black codes of Virginia. It is even the welfare state and using of the Black woman to break down the Black community has even worked better than Jim Crow. It has worked better than chattel slavery. It has worked better than even slavery or the reconstruction of the slave. Now, just to be clear, this is the new reconstruction of the slave. Reconstructing the construct, the layout of how the Black community operates, using a feminine, matriarchic campaign, which is so different. And unfortunately, sometimes now the women like this structure, where there is no father, it's easy to manage and maneuver. And again, no other sister from Lebanese women to Chinese women, Japanese women, white American women, Mexican women, Dominican women. No other women on the planet, Ethiopian women, prefer this type of style, or to be used sort of like an experiment, a test tube, if you will, to create a monster, if you will. This is a Frankenstein of an experiment in the black community, using our black women. And what say you? And again, I apologize earlier because I have been very critical of our sisters, the complacentness of it, the lack of attention. And again, black women give attention to their abortions, their health care, how much domestic violence they're going through, how much one out of this many gets abused by men. And again, they don't never look at how many of us abuse men, how many of us aborting our children. That is never the main issue with our sisters. How many of us are abusing our children? How many of us are verbally, physically abusing our husband? These type of numbers and issues are never in the top 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 20 with them. And so we have to bring attention to these issues. And thank goodness for the sisters who do talk about these things and bring them to the attention of the greater community. And again, so we are, as black men, we had to be the ones to actually get down in the mud, talk about what the federal government has done, how they have hurt the families, the sisters. And again, I apologize because I do not want to further continue and contribute to finding out what they've done and getting pissed off about it and creating a further gap and destructive path between black men and black women. I'm not going to be a part of that. No more than I'm going to be a part of destroying the black community just because when I was younger, I sold a little bit of drugs in the early 90s, late 80s, and it was wrong. I wanted gold chains, cars, girls, liquor, weed, and I wanted to be, hanging out and having a good time, but I was doing something destructive. And so now I have to go back and apologize, give back, become a philanthropist, and apologize for those families that I've hurt by selling pieces of crack cocaine for the apparel, for sneakers, for Jordans. And again, I don't want to further bring down my own community just because I want to look good. And the same thing now kind of goes with this construct. I'm not going to sit here bash black women to the graveyard because they, in a complicit manner, helped to develop the welfare state, going against black men, putting us out of our family situations for Section 8, for affirmative action, for food stamps, housing projects, administrative control over the children. These are evil, destructive, and it does cause immense hate. As much as the Sunnis and Shia Muslims hate each other over one allowing America to help them or British to help them and the other one is opposed, or China and Taiwan. Again, Taiwan gets help from us. They get aid, they get weapons, and it angers China, okay, because they are one people. Same thing with Ukraine. We give them weapons, we support them, we give them all of these things, and it angers Russia. Same thing with North Korea. We choose the side of South Korea. It angers North Korea, and it causes blood and chaos between the two of them. Now, black men have been the Russia of the black men, black women. We have been the China to the government. We have been the North Korea, one, because we produce persons like Muhammad Ali. We produce persons like Malcolm X. We produce persons like Minister Louis Farrakhan. We produce things like the Black Panthers. And we have always been the more conservative, more family-oriented, more structured, more our own minded. We can't just be brought out and pushed. Black women have been more of the Martin Luther King, the more of the Al Sharptons, Jesse Jackson of the world. They have been more of the black church, more of the, sort of easy to work with or manipulate, if you will. And the federal government have exploited that. And so again, this has caused them to say, okay, let's fund black women. Let's create through legislation, through the Treasury Department, through, resources, a platform, a way up, and a promissory to them not only community college, help in the family courts, if they all but help us go against this black man and bring down the black community. At the same time, we win because we're going to handicap her. Her kids and children are going to mess up. They're going to kill the black community. We will checkmate black men. And at the same time, we could use black women to do our bidding. She could help us politically, be the poster child for abortion, the poster child for the LGBT, sexual, crayon box. She can be the poster child for divorce, the poster child for abortions, the poster child for unruly woman, the poster child for obesity. She could be the poster child for everything under the sun that women should not be standing for. She will not be the poster child for fit, friendly, and feminine. She will not be the model as she used to be as the mom or a married woman who, is the homemaker, not the home wrecker. And we will use her to be a talking mouthpiece to bash, trash black men, and we don't have to do it. This is what the federal government have created in the welfare state and in this construct of bringing down the black community without having to necessarily lift a finger. And we had to give attention to it. And I apologize because, like I said, when you're going through this, you want to fight back. You're being targeted. You guys are removing our fathers in all 50 states, saying you don't need no man, only Jesus, that the men are just miraculously disappearing because they're following vagina, white women, and Hispanics. But at the end of the day, in all 50 states, okay, this is an abduction. This is a conspiracy. This is a coup d'etat. This is an intervention of the federal government using taxpayers' dollars to come in and divide, splice the black community as if we are a foreign entity like China and Taiwan, North Korea and South Korea, Iran and Saudi Arabia. They have come in and picked a side and funded that side, created avenues and quick pro quos for one of the sides, created jobs and funding and all kinds of things, and at the same time breaking the black community. And we had to speak up. We had to push back as black men. We've had to fight and even roll up our gloves and say, not only are you not going to use our women like this, okay, we're not going to now in turn, because such a Samson and Delilah situation took place where she was willing to cut our hair, we're not going to in turn now break her down and hate her to a degree, because we're not making things any better. Okay, and that goes back to what I said when I sold drugs. Okay, I did it. I messed up. I want to give back now. I don't want to be the guy who is now still pushing the drug concept. It's okay to make a little bit of money. I'm apologetic. I don't want to be furthering this movement. So I just wanted to share that with you. We're not going to be talking here all night about this. We're not going to make it a big issue, but I wanted to give my audience a little bit more of an understanding on how we got here, why I talk about this, and what I plan to do about it, and what are my true feelings towards black women. I love my sisters. I love black women. And I need you to understand that this isn't a sincere reach out. This isn't a sincere apology. This is a sincere, I want to know that I recognize that, like, this is not the way it should be. But I cannot have you acting like, well, we never did this. We never knew about the welfare state. We never knew about the man in the house rule. We just been here cooking and switching our big ass, and giving you kids and doing right by you. No, you have been used as a pawn. You have been used as a pawn, and you have to, in order for this not to happen again, not only do you have to be aware of it, not only do you have to speak against it, not only do you have to say this was not right. And our mothers and grandmothers or whatever, yes, they were complacent. We're not going to do this, and we're going to also hold the federal government accountable. Instead of running out here talking about breast cancer all the time, running out here talking about domestic violence and all this other kind of stuff, that is like number 7, 8, 9, 10 on your agenda. Number 1 should be abortions and the breakdown of your family and households. Your family should be number 1. No, you've made breast cancer number 1, sexual love who you want as number 2. You have made domestic violence number 3, and everything under the sun that pertains to you as an individual. You have not made the family situation between the black community the number 1 priority of black women is family. You've made everything else, from breast cancer to lesbian rights to your health care and all of these other things except the family. With black men, our number 1 agenda has been our families, our families, our families, then prostate cancer, then jail and incarceration, gang violence, black on black crime. We're putting the things in order that we're supposed to have in order. But our families are number 1, our wives, our divorce rates, okay? Because this is what kills the children. This is what drives them into the gangs. This is what drives them into the abortion clinics. So we target what's most important. Families. Italians know that. Albanians know that. Ethiopians know that. Mexicans know that. Family is the number 1 issue. Unfortunately, our women, again, have allowed the government to segregate them and let them work and get funding for everything from, feminism rights, breast cancer rights, wigs, save the animals, the alligators, everything under the sun that she can think about is what she have been prioritizing. And we just want you to know, respectfully, sister, you have to prioritize a lot better than that, because to be such a strong force in our community and you are aiming your bullets in the wrong direction, you are just, this is so counterproductive. So audience, do what you will with this. Share, like, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Play this back, listen to it, and let me know in the comment section if you think that we are actually hitting this correctly. I love y'all. We'll be back. You're on with Clyde Yorkshire. Thank you, and good night from the